So thank you so much for having me. Again, we are with the new integrative. I've been with Novant for 20 years, for the last 2 years with our new integrative medicine department. And we have been offering, what's wonderful about Novant with Forsyth Medical Center here in Winston-Salem is I moved back to this country in 2000 and had been teaching in London and Sydney. And I said, and worked in hospitals there, and said, would you like me? And in 2000, Forsyth and Novant said, we would love you. And so that was kind of a big deal to have yoga 20 years ago. Now it's everywhere. So I've been really supported by this system. And to let you know, they're very supportive in many modalities for enhancing your care. And that's really what integrative medicine has come into. So I don't know if you know about our integrative medicine departments in Charlotte and in Winston-Salem. We have integrative medicine MDs, PAs, and then those are covered by insurance. And something I really wanted to point out that the people in my chair yoga class have been so excited about is we have a integrative medicine pharmacist. So if you're wondering about your medications and any supplements, how they mix, how they react, you can make an appointment. She's in Charlotte, but you can do it on Zoom. So you can do it from anywhere if you're in North Carolina. And she can look and balance out what you're taking. A lot of people in my class have been really interested in that. And it's covered usually by insurance. If you're looking at doing any supplementation or anything with your treatment or your recovery, that's where our MDs and our PAs come in, and they can structure that out for you too, and that's covered by insurance. Then we have these other supportive things. We have acupuncture, massage, one-on-one yoga. It's subsidized by the hospital, so it's much cheaper. You can get a acupuncture group session. I mean, you see the acupuncturists individually, but they'll be, but then your acupuncturist in a group will spread out $40 for your treatment. Yoga one-on-one postural alignment for pain relief and stress is $50, and massage for an hour $60, all specialized. So just know that these things are available to you if you're ever interested in those things. And then the Zoom yoga classes, there's 2 a week every Wednesday, 9 to 10 a.m. or 5 to 6. I can send Lynn those Zoom links. They're a free class. They're for you or for anyone you'd like to join. You don't have to pre-register. You just join when you can. It's through Novant, so thousands of people can join. You don't have to, there's not a limit. People have joined from the UK, Colombia, Australia. I've had people join all over. And it is specialized for charity. We've been doing this for 12 years. So again, know that we have a lot of free services and things that you can look into. So again, I've been doing yoga since 1986 for 34 years. So when you started yoga in the 80s, and I trained in India. So I didn't train in hot yoga or power yoga or yoga as an aerobicized exercise. Yoga is actually anaerobic. It's not aerobic. We actually breathe less to expand our health. Not puffing and puffing. You shouldn't be sweating or exhausted after yoga. And also I teach the entire yogic lifestyle. So the lifestyle includes not only the proper poses, and those poses aren't meant to be an aerobic hard workout. They're meant to align you, balance you, the poses themselves, massage and tone organs, glands, balance hormones. So there's lots of specific reasons that we do the poses that we do, not necessarily. They do build strength and balance and flexibility, and of course that's important, but we don't do them specifically as a workout. We do proper breathing. There's 8 specific breathing exercises. So if you read any of the research on how yoga is helping, especially cancer patients with breathing, they are doing very specific breathing exercises that I teach quite a few of them in my class. There's proper diet in yoga. We eat what they now call eating clean. We try to eat back to the most natural state that things came from. We try not to open too many packages. We don't want to eat stuff that has a whole bunch of ingredients. We try to eat clean and back to its most natural state. We do positive thinking and meditation. Now what they're talking about, mindfulness, that really is the positive thinking part of yoga. And then we do final relaxation, which I trained at the Sivananda. Swami Sivananda was a big Swami. He was a doctor for many years and then became a Swami in India. And he always said relaxation is the most difficult pose for people to master because they just cannot relax. And I've had people come to my classes who are from power and hot yoga, and we lay down for this long relaxation. I'm telling you, they will sit up, get my attention, point to their watch, like they're really upset they've been made to lay down. And then, they don't come back to my classes, but that's okay. Everyone finds what they want, but they're like, I can't lay still. So it's a long, proper relaxation. And the relaxation that we do in yoga, in the medical system now, they call it in the medical world, progressive muscle relaxation. And I'm hoping we can get to that at the end. And I do it on inpatient yoga for oncology and high-risk maternity here at the hospital at Forsyth. And what they found is that people who practice this for themselves, and it's very easy to do, I'll show you at the end of class, when for example, they did a study, it was a British medical journal in May, it was published, women who had chronic lower back pain, and found if they did this for themselves every day for 8 weeks, after 8 weeks, they had an 82% reduction in their perception of pain. So a lot of times this is really helpful. Again, Novant has embraced this and they send me to rooms. And if someone's needing pain medication, but they can't have their next dose for an hour or two, doctors or nurses will also send me in to relax patients to help ease them over. I mean, it's that effective. And so I want to get that in at the end also. But I want to begin class first with breathing. I want to look at our breathing. So breathing really is the most important part of yoga. And of anything, I remember one of the first things I learned at the ashram, they said, you can go, how many, 40 days without food, 3 days without water, you got like 3 minutes without air. So we really got to get our breathing right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at breathing. So if you just close your eyes and just inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. And not forcing or changing your breath, just inhaling and through your nose if you can, not your mouth. Not forcing or changing the breath. Now with your eyes still closed, just take your palm and place it flat over your belly button and just continue to breathe. And with your next breath, inhaling, what is your belly doing under your hand as you inhale? Is it pulling back? Is it lifting up? Is it pressing out? Is it maybe not moving much at all? What's your belly doing? Good. Now, with your eyes still closed, raise your hand if your belly was pulling back or up as you were inhaling. Everyone. Okay, now raise your hand if your belly was pressing outward as you inhale. Good. Raise your hand if you're not quite sure what your belly was doing, because sometimes it's hard to know. Okay, good. So we'll gently open our eyes. It's hard to me to see on this, but so the way that you're born to breathe is how we breathe in yoga. When you inhale, your lungs fill from the bottom up. As your lungs expand from the bottom up, your belly naturally floats out. As you exhale, your lungs empty from the top to the bottom. As they empty, your belly button pulls back towards your spine. That's how you're born to breathe. Now, if you looked at a little baby, how a little baby was born before anyone stressed them and talked them out of how to breathe correctly, that's exactly what they're doing. The little belly will rise up as they inhale and drop down as they exhale. As we get, now what's beneficial of that is we have receptors at the bottom of our lungs. And so when we breathe fully and oxygen hits those receptors, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest system. Right, so that's where we're breathing in health. That's where we're allowing our system to work as it should, and we're in a nice state of mind also. If you're breathing up here in the top part of your lungs, so that would be if you were inhaling and pulling your belly back, or if you're taking shallow breaths and lifting up, or maybe your stomach was coming out, but you weren't taking a full breath and you still had movement up here. So the receptors at the top of your lungs are for your fight, flight, or freeze. Right, so these are your stress hormone receptors. So if you're not breathing fully, your oxygen's hitting up here, and you're just creating stress all day long. just all day long. And people don't realize that. I see people all the time. They're over here, they're not taking full, they're hunched over, breathing up here, not getting that rejuvenating oxygen, not relaxing their mind and soothing their nervous system. So what I would like to do is show you a breathing exercise, very simple to do if you do it 3 minutes a day, and it will bring you back to your full basic breathing. But also what this wonderful exercise does is when we're going to count as we do this breathing exercise. So that's where you start to learn your practice of meditation. So I was just reading recently in a health magazine and they said meditation's almost as popular as yoga. And I'm like, meditation is yoga. That's a part of the yogic lifestyle. But you can't make yourself meditate. It's like you can't make yourself go to sleep. You fall into a relaxed state and fall asleep. Well, it's the same thing with meditation. You bring yourself to just a focused mind. No one's saying empty your mind of thoughts. That's impossible. You're born to think. We're thinking all the time. We're asking you to bring your mind to one neutral point, one point of concentration. Then from there, your mind can relax. So that's why counting sheep used to work. That's why those things work. So this is a technique that's not only going to flood your body with oxygen, rejuvenating oxygen, and get you back to natural breathing, but it's going to bring your mind to one focus point so you can quieten your mind. Well, what's so good about bringing your mind to one focus point for concentration that leads you to meditation? It stops you from worrying and being upset. So, if you're over here and you got a lot going on, and you're worried and you're upset and you're not, how do you feel? You ever notice that if you're worried or thinking thoughts that are upsetting, you kind of feel sick between your throat and your belly button. Your throat will get tight, your heart will get heavy, your solar plexus will churn. So basically all your emotions are held between here to here. And all feeling bad does is let you know that what you're thinking is not best serving you. Okay, that's where meditation, positive thinking, mindfulness, that's why they teach all these techniques for people who are in anxiety and depression, overwhelmment. And people say, but my thoughts think me. Well, your thoughts don't think you. You think your thoughts, but you're guided from your emotions and you have the ability. But if you've been thinking and worried for a long time, it's hard to go from being really upset, a lot going on, and jumping over here to fluffy, happy bunnies. And really, if you've been upset and worried and someone comes up to you and says, smile, think of a bunny, I would just push them down. Like if I was upset, somebody told me to think a happy thought, I know I'm a yoga teacher, but I might push them over. And so what you can't ask someone to go from being upset over here to no worry at all. So that's where meditation comes in. That's where breathing comes in. You just take a few minutes, maybe even 60 seconds to do this technique, and it'll bring you to one neutral point. Then when you're in that, your mind has quietened to this one neutral focus, then you can gently start to turn your attention to something that you like a little better. So you learn to guide your thoughts. No one's saying control your thoughts. We're saying guide your thoughts. And as you guide your thoughts, you'll feel better between here and here. This is kind of how you know what you're thinking. And I often compare it to, when you're driving down 40, or if you're in Charlotte, I guess 77, and you veer a little bit and you hit those bumps on the side of the road. You ever done that? Well, what do? You straighten up. You don't keep driving and go hit a tree and make it worse. You straighten up. That's what this breathing techniques does for your worried thoughts. You're just straightening them up. That's all you're doing. And then you're on a smoother path that feels better. Okay, so that's why this is effective. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale through our nose. As you inhale through your nose, your belly will come out, your lungs fill from the bottom up, and you're going to silently count 1, 2, 3. Then there's a natural pause in the breath, just for a second. We don't inhale or exhale, just a pause, a peaceful pause. Then you exhale, belly button pulling back to your spine, and you're going to count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Little pause again. Then you inhale, start back at 1. I'll lead you through the first minute. Don't forget those little pauses. They can create a gentle cycle of breath. And we're going to do this in the beginning. Your mind may run away to worries or to-do lists about every 3 to 5 seconds. That's okay. The minute you feel you're caught up in another thought, let it go. Just let it go. Start back inhaling at 1. If you practice this for 3 days, you won't have to pull your mind back so much. 1 week, you're steady. 2 weeks, you're enjoying it. After a month, your 3 minutes has gone to 5, 6, 7 minutes, and you are completely peaceful, and it felt like 2 seconds. That's how meditation starts. And you do not have to do it for more than 15 minutes a day, but just start with 3. Okay, so we'll put our hand here if that makes it easier for you. Work on your breathing. Just exhale through your nose. Just go ahead and exhale through your nose. Let your belly button come back to your spine. Your lungs are completely empty. Now inhaling, belly comes out. Silently count 1, 2, 3. Little pause. Exhale, belly button back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pause. Inhale, belly out. 1, 2, 3. Little pause. Exhale, belly button back through your nose. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pause. Inhale, belly out. 1, 2, 3. Little pause. Exhale, belly button back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pause. Inhale, belly out. Little pause. Exhale, belly button back. And pause. And continue this on your own for the next 2 minutes. If your mind begins to wander, release the thought. Start again at inhaling at 1. Take another breath. And then before you open your eyes, just notice how just that 3 minutes actually goes quite quickly. That in that 3 minutes, your nerves are soothed, your heart rate slows down, your mind quietens. So just, even if you stepped away and just focus on your breath for 30 or 60 seconds, you would start to feel better. Okay, so just that's a wonderful way to start with all these benefits that we read so much about mindfulness and breathing and meditation and positive thinking. Okay, so now we're going to come into some movement. So I wanted to show you some things for your lymphatic system. So often my classes are focused on something. Like a few weeks ago, there was a great study by Columbia University that showed 10 minutes of yoga days, a 15-year study I've been following, can increase bone density. So I modified all those poses to a chair. We went through that. So I'm often focusing on very specific things. So the lymphatic system is one that my classes quite often like. And so in yoga and Ayurvedic medicine, we see the lymphatic system as one of the most important systems in the body. And we do a lot of things to keep the lymphatic system flowing. And lymphatic system is all through our body. So this is a traditional yoga lymphatic system health series of exercises. So remember, your lymphatic flow is you have to have movement. You have to have movement for that. So I'm going to still sit on the floor so we can just start the first part of this. And your lymphatic system is in your brain. It goes all the way down. So one of the first things they do is they do ear pulling, which is funny. This is a thing they do in India for health. Somehow in the West, we made it a punishment. If you ever watched those Shirley Temple movies where they were yanking on the kids' ears, but actually it was originally done for health. So we're going to do 3 exercises flowing up through here and through our neck. And I've learned it's when you see me take my hands away, you take your hands away so I can describe the next exercise. I've learned when people have their hands up here, they can't hear me because their hands are in our ears. So you're going to take your ears, you're going to hold on to your ears, like where you'd put an earring, and we're going to tug like this up and down. Do it for about 30 seconds. Good. Then we're going to release it. Now I'm doing a little, you do it for like 30 seconds or so. Now I do notice that when we do these exercises, my sinuses start to drain and I can breathe through my nose. I do an antipod every day. I don't have sinus issues, but I still feel draining. Like I feel the effect of these almost immediately. Now we're going to circle our ear, pedal our ears one way, and then we're going to pedal them back the other way. So we're holding a little higher and we're going to cycle our ears around to the back. Good. Then release. Now again, I don't know if y'all feel that I'm draining. Now I'm going to cycle up and down to the front. It's a little easier. And release. Good. Anyone else feel that kind of clamp their head a little bit? Now the next one, fast movements in our shoulders. So we're going to go up and down like this for about 20 times. Okay, so sitting up straight. And breathe. They often teach this with holding your breath. We're not going to hold our breath. We're just going to do this. 18, 19, 20. And then we're going to rest and we'll do 20 again. Okay, 20 more times. You want to go kind of fast. These aren't shoulder rolls. We're not doing this. That's something different. This is stimulating your lymphatic system. Now, if this is pulling, if you have ports or anywhere this is uncomfortable, you can just do this. That'll still help you. If you can get a little vigorous, that's great. Not if it's uncomfortable. And I love to see that some people are standing. I will tell you, I'm also a postural alignment therapist. We're going to look at some posture in a minute. And we always, usually with most things, try to end up doing them standing because that brings your body into its vertical loaded alignment. So yay for anyone standing. So now I'm going to come to my chair. You can see. Now, oops, I'm not on screen anymore. Now, something that I want to show you now that we're sitting in our chair. So if you're sitting back in your chair, which most people are probably sitting back in their chair, from here, I would like you to come up to sitting away from your chair. Just come up to sitting away from your chair. Okay, so what I could see from the few people that I could see, this is what I saw. I saw this. Okay. Let's look at postural alignment. What's postural alignment? What is your vertical alignment? How were you born to be in line so your body doesn't hurt? If you were standing, I drew a line through you. It should be your ankles, then your knees, your hip, your shoulder, your ear. How often? Start watching people anywhere. Few people have their shoulders over their hips anymore, and their ears are nowhere over their shoulders. And their pelvis is often tucked in like this, and that affects how they're walking, they're shuffling, their body hurts, their lungs are closed off, their digestive system isn't functioning as well. We want to sit and stand in proper alignment. So what it tells me is if you're sitting like this and I say come away from your chair and you do this, you do not have the full function of your pelvis and your hips. Because if you had full function, if you were using your body in its correct alignment and its joints, its load-bearing joints and all their function, when I would ask you to come sit, watch what I do for my hips. I would roll forward this way. So I'm going to move here so you can see. So a lot of people are sitting like this. I said come sit straight. They did this. They used their shoulder to pull their body forward. They jutted their torso forward where that movement should have been here. Do you see how I've brought my lumbar curve back into play, and my lumbar curve, my thoracic curve, and my cervical curve. The car seats, chairs, relaxation throws us all like this. Notice how often your knees are above your hips when you're sitting. What does that do? Put your pelvis in flexion. What happens when your pelvis comes in flexion? Your shoulders roll forward, your neck hurts, you get pain, and people are like this. How do I know if, let's try this. I'm shifting a little bit here. Try this. Everybody come up to standing. Just come up and just stand as you naturally would stand. If it's okay to come up standing. So what would I look at in a postural alignment? So my one-on-ones is blending yoga and postural alignment. So everyone just come up to stand and freeze. Just freeze where you are. Now, if you can tell how many, because I can't see everyone, if I were looking at you, how many people can see the back of their hands in front of, if you look down, I can see your hands in front of your legs. So if you did this in front of a mirror. So if you're standing and you can see the back of your hands presenting, that tells me your shoulders are rolled forward, your neck is jutted forward, and you are not in alignment. Because when those load-bearing joints are directly on top of each other vertically, where are your hands? They're beside you. They're beside you. They're not here. If I look at someone and one hand's lower, it tells me there's rotation in their shoulders and their hip. If you look down at your feet, are your feet turned out? If you have one foot going out, it means your pelvis, the horizontal alignment of your pelvis is off, and your body's trying to find balance every time you walk. If you look and you have one foot a little ahead of the other, that tells me your pelvis is rotating that way. So your body's overcompensating every time you try to walk. Okay, so this is just little things to look at. You can stand in front of a mirror and just stand and notice what's going on. So a lot of my classes and my one-on-ones are very specific techniques to take rotation out of your pelvis, rounding out of your upper back, bringing your neck back into alignment. So all this is important. Then you continue yoga, and yoga will just keep you there. Okay, so we got a lot of good stuff going. Okay, so now coming back, we've worked on sitting properly in our chair. So we're not like this. We're going to come up. We roll, if you can, so on the edge of your seat, and see my knees are lower than my hips. I'm toward the front of my sitting bones, my spine's straight. Okay, so now the next thing for our lymphatic system, we want to get moving the lymph here in our groin coming down. So you can, if you can bring one foot up, your knee on your ankle on your knee. Now, if you scooch back, if you can't do this, just leave your foot down and you're going to do it this way with your right leg. You're just going to do this, and you're going to start moving that lymph fluid here. If you are comfortable to do this, make sure your left foot stays straight. It's not turning out, and you're going to do this. If you cannot do this, if this is uncomfortable, this is how you modify it. You just do this. Everybody pretty much can probably do this. I'm going to do this for you. Do this for about 30 seconds. Good. And then come back and bring that leg down or bring it in. Do you feel the flow? Can you feel the movement, the flow? You're also when you move that tissue, you're pumping oxygen through too, which is rejuvenating. So not only lymph, but we're working on everything here. Now we'll go to the other leg and we'll do this. Or you'll be doing this. And breathing, that full breath we were doing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. We seldom ever breathe through our mouth in yoga. And come back. That's another important, if you can breathe through your nose, always try to breathe through your nose. When you breathe through your nose, you actually produce nitric oxide in your sinuses, and then you drive that into your lungs and body. What is nitric oxide? It has been shown, it was some Nobel Prize winning research in the late 90s, and showed that that showed nitric oxide can help fight infection, especially in the lungs, and that way can help boost your immune system. So you want to breathe through your nose, and I do a lot of work in breathing and exercises through our nose. We want that nitric oxide into our system. Okay, so now we're going to come up to standing, and then the last one we're going to do for our lymphatic system is, I'm not really in the screen. Normally I'm in the screen better. You can see my feet. Now you may have to hold on for this one. It may challenge your balance. In India, they see your calves as your second heart. It's an important pump of your body. So people are sitting every day, things are just pulling at their feet, gravity's pulling them down. you need to do these pumps to start moving lymph and circulation up. That's how important it is, the second heart of the body. So come up on your toes. If you feel balanced, come back on your heels, up on your toe. You can hold on back on your heels. If falling back makes you feel wobbly, just come up and down. Don't worry about coming back on your heels. You can just do this. This is a great pump. If you can, though, do heels and toes. But sometimes that makes people feel like they're, especially if you're on sometimes medication can make you feel wobbly. So just stay here if that's better. We're gonna do this for 30 seconds. If it starts to burn, you can always rest, work up to 30 seconds. And 3, 2, and 1. Do you feel how you've stimulated your body, that wonderful second heart moving things through your body? We are made for motion. Humans are made for motion, not sitting. So even if you can't get out and walk, you can stand by you can do this under the kitchen counter as you wait for your coffee to brew. You can put this in anywhere. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do, we're shifting from lymphatic to balance. Always make sure we do balance. I love the study that I read in the summer that showed people who could stand for 30 seconds on one foot each day. I can't remember how long they practiced that, but they increased their reaction time for balance by 55%. So what does that mean? That means if you stumble, your reaction time to pull yourself back up is increased by 55%. And that could very well be the difference of stumbling and hitting the floor or stumbling and recovering. So 30 seconds a day, practicing on one foot, 30 seconds a day. Now, let's say you haven't practiced balance for a while. Let's say you have neuropathy and it's hard to find your balance. You can try holding on and you can just come up onto the tip of your toe. That is integrating both sides of your brain and helping you with balance. You don't have to come here. You can hold onto the chair and just come to the tip of your toe. Then as that improves over time, you can raise the tip of your toe off a little bit. And then over time, you can start to test yourself, letting go of the chair or the counter until you're standing on one foot. And you can see my left foot. Those 26 bones in that foot are going, okay, I got this. I'm balancing. You can see all these little bones. You can see my body doing it. But sometimes we have to reintroduce its ability to balance. Okay, so then we'll come down. Let's do the other side again. You can just start on the tip of your toe. Your body is balancing right now. That's perfectly fine. You can try to lift it up a little bit. And eventually you can try to take your hand away. It may be like this, that's okay. Just make sure you're not gonna fall over until we're here. And see, you can see my right foot went, okay, I got it. I'm on it. And then we'll come back down. Okay, good. So now let's come back. Do we have time to lay down and do about 10 minutes or lean back in your chair to do about 10 minutes of relaxation? Would y'all like that?
We sure do.
Question and answer any questions. We could do both.
That would be fabulous. Thank you.
For relaxation, yes?
Yes.
That's the fabulous.
Yes.
Let me show you one thing. This is what I ask people to do in my class. You do not have to do this. You can just lean back in your chair. Sometimes on Zoom, I'll see people in recliners and they'll pull the lever. I just see their feet pop up in the camera. They're reclining. But first, this is that progressive muscle relaxation I spoke about in the beginning. The people who practice it every day for themselves had up to an 82% reduction in their perception of pain. And how do we do this? I'm going to lead you through it, and you can repeat this for yourself. You start at your feet. I'm going to ask you to tense your feet and release them. I'm going to ask you to squeeze your legs together, release. Hands, release. Shoulders, release. Even your face. We're going to tense your face and stretch it out. Why? That gives your body, your muscles, this comparison of being tense to being relaxed, and your body, your physical body stays in relaxation. So, if you're worried, if you're upset, if you're feeling bad, you're like this. If you tense more and let go, your body will stay there. Then I'm going to verbally tell your body it's relaxed. So I'm going to start at your feet, and I'm going to say your feet and legs are now relaxed. As I say it out loud, you silently, mentally repeat it to yourself, and you imagine those parts of your body melting away. Then once I get to the top of your head, we're just going to lay in silence for a minute or two. Now, if you were in my class, we'd be laying in silence for like 5 minutes or more. We'll keep it a little shorter today. But if we're in silence, just notice your body relaxing. And that's how you would do it for yourself at home. You just tense and release your body. There's no wrong way, from your feet to your head. Then start at your feet and start telling each part of your body it's relaxed. There's no specific way to do it. Just work up to your head. Usually people are asleep before they hit their belly button because they told their body they kept their mind on one thing, telling their body to relax and then just seeing it relax. Now, if it is possible for you to get on the floor, no one has to do this. You can stay in your chair. But if it's possible to get on the floor and lay with your legs on a chair like this. Now, if you have that rounding in your upper back and cervical back that we talked about, your shoulders will be here and your head will be doing this. So we don't want you doing that. You can just put a blanket here. And if you keep doing yoga with me, we're going to take that curve out of your back so you won't need this blanket. But in the beginning, be comfortable. What does this do? This is one of the best things you can do if you have back pain. This realigns your spine in a vertically loaded position using gravity and releases your hips and lower back. So this is a great way if you're comfortable getting on the floor. And then to come out of it, people will roll to their side and then they'll kind of turn and they'll do this to get back up in their chair. But I've watched for many years, I've taught for 22 years, and people after a while, they can just get back up. So, but if you don't want to, of course, be on the floor, don't just sit comfortable. Some people do the class on a day bed and then they just lay down and go to sleep. So that's the nice thing about the Zoom classes. Some people just go crawl up in bed. So just get comfortable, whether it's on the floor or not. When I do this for inpatient yoga, people fall asleep all the time. I just tiptoe out, leave them sleeping. Okay, so now you're in your position. Your eyes are closed. Take a nice big breath through your nose. Just inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. And another breath. Inhaling. And a nice long exhalation. So you inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Now with your next breath, inhaling. As you exhale, let out a long sigh. Helps you release tension. So we'll do that again. Inhale. Exhale a long sigh. Now we'll gently tighten and release your body. So bring your awareness to your feet and flex your feet. Point your toes and release. Just let them go. Squeeze your knees towards one another. Tighten your legs. Exhale, relax. Pull your shoulders back. Press your chest forward. Release. Roll your shoulders forward. Stretch out your back. And relax. Make tight fists with your hands. Spread your fingers, open your palms, stretch your hands. Exhale, relax. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears in a shrug. Release. Press your shoulders down to your hips, away from your ears. Exhale, relax. Gently turn your head to the right and then to the left and back to center. Tint your face, pull everything towards your nose, make a cocoon face, squint your eyes, tighten your lips, good. Release. Stretch your face, open your mouth, roll back your eyes, a big yawn, inhale. Exhale, relax. Take another breath. Inhale. As you exhale, notice the relaxed feeling in your body as your muscles have released tension. Now silently, mentally repeat to yourself, my feet and my legs are now relaxed. And imagine these parts of your body just melting away. My feet and my legs are now relaxed. My hips and my pelvis are now relaxed. My hips and my pelvis are now relaxed. My abdomen and stomach are now relaxed. My abdomen and stomach are now relaxed. My heart and my lungs are now relaxed. My heart and my lungs are now relaxed. My back and my spine are now relaxed. My back and my spine are now relaxed. My hands and my arms are now relaxed. My hands and my arms are now relaxed. My shoulders and my neck are now relaxed. My shoulders and my neck are now relaxed. My face and my jaw are now relaxed. My face and my jaw are now relaxed. My sinuses and my eyes are now relaxed. My sinuses and my eyes are now relaxed. My forehead and my brain are now relaxed. My forehead and my brain are now relaxed. All of my body and my mind are now completely and totally relaxed. All of my body and my mind are now completely and totally relaxed. Inhale, slowly exhale. Gently bring your awareness back to your body in the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And stretch your arms overhead. Give a long stretch. Inhale. Exhale and release. Good. And if you're lying down on the floor, go ahead and come up to sitting. So we were only in silence for about 90 seconds because of time. Normally we'd be lying there for about 5 minutes, just quiet. And in the beginning, it's kind of hard. I think because I was sitting so still, people thought their screen froze. But normally it is about 5 minutes. And you'll find just in a short amount of practice that you get very relaxed in that 5 minutes of silence. We're rarely in silence. There are things talking to us constantly. So that's why my yoga, I mean, you go to the gas pump now, there's like commercials. So my yoga is traditional yoga, where I'm not playing music. There's nothing going on in the background. We're allowing ourselves to be quiet, just to appreciate quiet. I, for example, I have no cable. When I'm home, I'm quiet. There's nothing going on in my house. And it's a very lovely, lovely thing, but we almost have to get used to it again. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Again, Lynn, I will send you the links for these free Zoom classes. They're every Wednesday, 9 to 10 in the morning, 5 to 6.